5 August 2022. And this little snippet is about South Africa. There's a certain section of the population that makes a big noise of expropriating land without compensation, and their target is white farmers. I see the land issue is once again raising its idiotic head. Here's the facts. The actual facts of white farm ownership in South Africa. Individual land ownership in South Africa by race in hectares, Table 4, Land Audit Report of 13 February 2018. South Africa is 122 million hectares in total area. The Department of Rural Development and Land Reform has officially confirmed that 26.6 million hectares are owned by white farmers. That is 22% of South Africa. And then there's a whole table. Kawana Alfred, the voice of sanity and the voice of reason. Expropriation of land without compensation is an outdated policy. 50 African states implemented it in the early 1950s and 60s, but it failed miserably. The last country to implement it is Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, those that must listen to these warnings are IQ 70 idiots with a 30% matric pass rate. 30% is the pass to get the qualification. It means 70% of what is in that course is foreign to that man that sits with a certificate. And then we've got this from Patrick Lancaster. He is an independent journalist reporting out of the Donbass. Facebook is now threatening to disable my account because I exposed a threat by a pro-Ukrainian in which they said he would rape and execute my wife because of my journalism. I have appealed, and you can read this for yourself, the messages. This is ridiculous. Facebook will ban this guy because he's reporting the truth. And then we've got this, and this is with a green deal at the back end. The answer to the question, when will this war end, in fact sounds like when the US and the EU stops plundering the whole world and start living within their means. Never. And then it shows you how cheap labor under dirty conditions and hazardous conditions is exploited for the benefit of the so-called collective West. And then we get to Israel. Former Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused current Prime Minister Yair Lapid of creating a dangerous crisis in relationships with Russia. And you can read it yourself further if you want to. The fact of the matter is, Israel is cruising now for a clash with Russia, and that will not be good for Israel. Israel bans the use of cash for purchases over $1,700. From August 1, a new law will come into force in Israel prohibiting payments in cash and bank checks in excess of, and then their value is $1,700. The goal of the reform is to fight organized crime, money laundering and tax non-compliance. Bullshit. And this is how the New World Order is trying to force the WEF dream of a digital currency down our throats. And once again, same as with the pestilence, they are telling you it is for the greater good. True motivation behind Pelosi's visit, Indo-Pacific geopolitics and position. The US just played Taiwan the same way they played Ukraine, with a democracy card, like they tried in Hong Kong. There is no way, in my opinion, that China will let this wave ride. And we can already see China's putting the screws on Taiwan. That island is going to suffer terribly because of this EWC. But they don't care. For them the mission was accomplished, they got some press out of it and that's it. Which is also in direct contradiction to Kirby's earlier word salad about not supporting Taiwan independence. Both sides of the face saying different things, and we are meant to think they are not all in one agenda. Sorry, the US lies with such regularity that no one expects anything else. And then, just a little bit to unnerve those in the West, the ruble is soaring and Putin is stronger than ever. Our sanctions have backfired. Simon Jenkins. Energy prices are rocketing, inflation is soaring, and millions are being starved of grain. Surely Johnson knew this would happen. I will not expand on that. Here is something interesting, seeing that the gas turbines is so hot in the news. Russia will use Iranian Mapna turbines to produce electricity instead of German Siemens. Now Iran is stealing high-tech market from Germany. And the West must expect much more of this. Things will happen. I think the rest of the world is done with being bullied and manipulated by the West. Russia's president has condemned the potential use of nuclear weapons during Monday's treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons Conference. Other points include, Putin said nuclear war would have no victor and must never come about. Russia has been strictly adherent to the nuclear disarmament agreements with the US. All nations abiding by the NPT should be allowed access to nuclear energy for civilian use. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.